was like,
the Holy Spirit took over.
And no one cares about sprints.
I care about the sprint. McLaren
Is the world championship
hotline. I have some thoughts about that.
He's Max freaking Verstappen. He should always be on your radar.
We get to the juicy bits.
Love the juicy bits.
I'm not a scientist.
Overtake King.
Yeah.
That restart, by the way, from Oscar Piastri.
Cheeky.
Diabolical. There's been lots of drivers. It's hard to keep them all straight. And we're live. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is why we're yelling. Welcome back to another F1 race review. Today we are talking about round 12 of the 2026 Formula One season, the F1 Heineken Dutch Grand Prix at Mascot Circuit Zandvoort, which is RIP, the last one we're going to have for who knows how long.
For a while. Yeah. Apparently, this has everything to do with the government and not anything to do with F1, where they're just like, it's going to cost a lot of money now.
Yeah,
they don't get government funding. Like Silverstone doesn't get government funding, so they have to get outside sponsors. And Zandvoort was and I think they just recently changed the tax to we talked about it last episode.
Yeah,
but we are aware that we're gonna have all this content come out, but I need everyone to skip ahead if you don't care about this. Well, we have timestamps, so whatever. So multiple things happened in the past 3 weeks. One, my camera broke. For those who don't know, I'm a part-time professional photographer, I guess is what you could say, because I get paid for it sometimes.
Yeah. Semi-professional photographer. So my camera broke in the middle of a photo shoot, and I had a mental breakdown. And that pretty much devastated me. And then just a lot of work came in. And then it just kind of was over with. So, and I also was trying to make a timeline for us to tackle Brosades. Here's the thing. That's a project. Yeah.
That's something we'll probably have to just do in the off season to absorb the actual content we have to be able to, that's not
to tell that story.
Yeah. To tell the story and to explore and to really dissect it or whatever. That's just not something that you can do with full-time jobs. In a week's time.
And we'll have some time off around the holidays. So maybe we can work on that some then.
Well, yeah, because I'm by the end of the season, we'll have a few months.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that thing came out. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the lesson we've learned here is just don't promise anything.
Yeah.
Because
this is the most we can promise is that this will at some point come out before the next race.
Yes.
This being the race review.
For Zandvoort.
So, yeah. Well, I forgot it's my turn. Now, if you've made it this far or you've clicked the timestamp, let's actually talk about what happened this weekend. Yeah. So at Zandvoort, it was a sprint weekend. Mm-hmm. So our sprint podium, we had George Russell, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris.
Woo!
Go George! I was excited for George. Now that everyone hates George, I'm no, fuck you guys.
George, this is his third sprint that he's won. Has he won all of them this season?
I don't know, but he's definitely won more than one sprint. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's won a sprint or keeps winning sprints, but I'm I need the race, the GP wins.
Lewis Hamilton last season
to start happening. Yeah.
So our Grand Prix podium, we have Lando Norris, Kimi Antonelli, and George Russell.
Woo!
So good on George. Mm-hmm. And I mean, good on Lando and Kimi, but I'm just glad George is up there.
Yeah.
So for the constructor standings, we have no changes. And for the driver standings, George Russell is now tied with Lewis Hamilton for second, but I don't know that they do the whole who has more or whatever till you would need to.
Yeah.
So they're tied. Lando Norris has moved from 5th to 4th, and Nico Hülkenberg has moved from 18th to 15th.
Okay.
And so before we jump into our team breakdowns, we will go over our overall thoughts and impressions. Here's the thing. That fucking sprint, snooze, bye, snooze fest. Now, the race, I will say, way better than the sprint. I was super prepared for it to be super boring and whatever. If the sprint was informing how that was going to go. It did not. I woke up, it was raining. I said, hell yeah. Then that didn't matter. And I went, hell no. I was really hoping for rain because I was oh yeah, let's really shake it up. Mm-hmm. But then that's not how it went down. It dried out. But I thought the race was interesting. I liked it. It was more entertaining than I thought. There was definitely things going on. They showed a lot of the midfield this time, so I was happy with that.
I did notice that. We saw a lot more of the midfield. And I'm is this just because Yuki Tsunoda is here?
Is that the only reason they're showing more in the midfield? Not that I'm complaining about it, because love Yuki, love that we saw more in the midfield.
Yes.
So, but I'm just like, why the sudden change? Unless they've heard us. Unless they've heard, not us,
Yes,
but like
they heard us.
Us.
No, they heard us.
All of us together,
Yes.
collectively, the F1 fan community that is watching F1 TV and the Apple broadcast, and they're like, more midfield.
Yeah, a lot of people have complained about it for sure.
Good.
So I was happy about that. And Alonso was in the points and I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
And there were things I wasn't happy about, but we'll get to that with the breakdowns.
Yeah. My overall thoughts were, I'm gonna be honest, I was like halfway paying attention to the race. I was very sleepy. But what I did pay attention to was cool. Glad that, like I said, glad Yuki was there.
Super happy, yeah.
Glad that we got to see Lawson back in a Red Bull.
I was very happy for that.
Yeah, and he was consistent with how he's been performing in the RB in the Racing Bulls car all season. Like he finished where he normally would.
Exactly. Well, maybe even slightly better.
Yeah.
Which he's in one of the top cars. So it's like, see? So I was happy for Liam.
Yeah, I was very happy for Liam. We had some like contract news that came out over the break, like right before the beginning of the race week.
Yeah.
So we've got Max Verstappen re-signed with Red Bull.
I think every person, let's take a moment. Every person that's surprised, check yourself, bro. Like, did you really think Max was ever going to leave Red Bull? There was never a moment in time I thought that would happen.
No, I think he said he was close. He would have been closer to retiring than he was signing with a team that wasn't Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he's not going. And then
he's very loyal.
Yes, very loyal. And I think too, people forget Red Bull doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Like just because Max isn't winning Max is not the only championship like winner with Red Bull, by the way. So like they are historically a pretty good team.
Yeah.
They're not always like the top team, but they're historically a good team.
I think he has confidence, and rightly so, that they'll figure it out.
Yeah, he also
figure it out enough that his driving skill can overcompensate for the effectiveness in the car.
And also apparently some people from like F1 themselves came to him and they are like,
please stay.
Pretty much, because I think everyone's aware that these regulations are ass and they were trash and never should have happened, which is why you see so many people within like Formula One, like executives within Formula One are like, we're moving away from this. We promise, like 2030, fuck a battery. Like they're going real hard with it. So anyway, we also had Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz both re-signed with Williams.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
where were they supposed to go?
Exactly. Not surprised at all. I mean, Alex has shown that he's pretty committed to Williams. Like, he's there. That's going to probably be his team until he retires from Formula One. And Carlos, there's just nowhere for him to go.
No.
So,
I mean,
there he is. I mean, I could see him maybe moving to like, in a couple years, Cadillac or Audi.
I don't know. Audi might be mad. He was supposed to go to Audi. That's where he was supposed to go, and then he went to Williams.
There was speaking of Cadillac, their team principal, like randomly, they just changed him out.
Yeah.
Middle of the season. We're like, okay.
Yeah, we were like, oh, bye.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Don't know enough about him to have an opinion.
No.
Like, I saw that and I was like, okay, well, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the first, which when we talk about Aston Martin, we can mention it too, but this was the first race where I think it was the new Honda power unit with the car. So, then pretty cool. Alonso was in the point, so I was happy.
Yeah. So, overall thoughts of this race were just fine.
I liked it. Yeah. It felt like a good send off.
Yeah.
But guys, before we get into our team breakdowns, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so anytime we post anything, you get a notification. We really appreciate it. We're a small podcast. A lot of work goes into making it. We have so much fun making it, but it also feels really good to get any attention for it whatsoever. But anyway, so if you could take that time, that would be great.
It takes literally 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to us and helps a lot.
And with that, Anna will start us off.
Okay, we're going to get into our team and individual driver breakdowns. We'll start with McLaren. We have Lando Norris. He finished P1. Yay, Lando. Fun fact, he won back-to-back Grand Prix in Hungary and Zandvoort.
Yeah, it's a very big change in performance or even just the car itself from they were lucky if the car could
mega
be on,
they went from not finishing races or even getting to start races. They didn't. Was it Oscar didn't start a race?
Yeah, for a minute.
For a couple of them, till race 3 or something.
There were people not starting races, and it was
a struggle to even get the car on the track to start or finish a race at the beginning of the season for McLaren. And now we've got Lando Norris winning 2 back-to-back. I mean, just great leaps and bounds that the McLaren has made to where we even had, I believe it was Kimi Antonelli in the post-race press conference even said, Mercedes isn't the fastest car on the track anymore with the upgrades that, McLaren has obviously brought and some of the other teams have brought. He's like, we might be the 3rd fastest car on track. And I'm like, maybe.
You might be.
Maybe.
You might be.
So Lando Norris stayed close to Kimi Antonelli after the second standing start, passed him around the outside of turn 1 during the second stint and pulled away to win by more than 11 seconds. So yeah, once he took the lead, he was gone.
Oh yeah. Well, too, there was all the there was a lot of strategy this race with virtual safety cars and this tire and that tire because
the tire issue was a big talking point for everybody. What tire do we use?
Bruh, I can't wait to get to Ferrari because that shit was wild.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we also have Oscar Piastri. He finished P6. Piastri passed Russell to run 3rd, but a slow pit stop and a significant loss of grip during the second stint dropped him behind the Mercedes and both Ferraris. Yeah, I do remember he was doing pretty good, and then he had a really shitty pit stop, and it was literally why. And then, to be honest, he was pretty your favorite word, anonymous after that. So
I really need for Oscar to figure it out. Whatever Lando has figured out with the car, I need for Oscar to get there too because he's too good of a driver to be finishing P6. I'm tired of it.
I mean, P6 isn't bad.
No,
considering all the people that were ahead of him, it was just the top people. But yeah,
it's not. But I want more from him.
I agree.
I demand more.
I demand more. Yeah, no, they did great. I mean, technically, they converted pole to a podium. So.
Yeah, good for McLaren.
Yeah. Ooh.
Moving on to Mercedes. We have Kimi Antonelli finishing P2. Fun fact, he gained a position at both standing starts, moving into P2 at the original start and taking the lead at the restart.
Yeah.
So yeah, he benefited from that. We had that restart after Max Verstappen crashed out.
Oh.
Which we'll get to when we get to Red Bull. But so Kimi lost out on the first start, but was able to take the lead at the second start.
No, yeah, Kimi did a good job. George had a horrible start. We'll get to him in a minute. But yeah, I mean, Kimi, it was nice because he's had issues with starts. Yeah. So, I mean, he clearly has
he's
fixed
worked
something.
on that.
Yeah.
That's been a point of him being he's made a point to work on that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the rest of the season, the rest of his driving seems to be fine in terms of going fast and winning and getting around the track. So his other skills have been fine enough, but the starts were a real point of you kind of suck at those, bro.
Yeah. I think we still have yet to see what his racecraft will be fighting with people.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had to see that yet. In any time, and when we did, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But all I could think of was Montreal when I think of that. And then George immediately was cursed. And y'all give George Russell shit, by the way, for throwing that. I would have done that and a lot more. So leave him alone. Okay, so now we'll talk about George Russell. He finished P3. And fun fact for George, he finished on the podium in the sprint and the Grand Prix. He won the sprint and then finished P3 in the Grand Prix. So George's start was pretty bad. He lost some positions. He regained P3 through the first pit stop and then defended against both Ferraris during the closing laps to secure the final podium place. Here's the thing. He was P2. And here's the thing, too. He was on old tires, and I totally get it. He was getting fucking hunted by his teammate and the Ferraris.
Yes.
And they just came on the team radio, and they were like, swap. swap positions with Kimi. And George is like, I mean, is he going for the win? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Which I thought was a valid question.
Uh-huh.
But then he didn't argue. He just did it. And in the moment of that happening,
I was like, fuck Mercedes.
Literally, fuck you guys for that.
Like, absolutely not. And again, that's just me being a naturally very competitive person. I ain't conceding shit to nobody, teammate, team orders or not. But the team orders, when you think about it, their reasoning made sense.
No, it was fine.
I will concede.
I get it now. But in the moment as a viewer and watching all this shit, and I'm like, why y'all keep shafting George?
Literally, though, it feels intentional now.
Yeah, I'm like, Toto hates you. Like, that's how it feels. So
it feels like he's like the sacrificial lamb. It's like he's the bait in the water. They're getting hunted down by these shark Ferraris coming after him, and they're like, swap places with Kimi so that you can get eaten by the shark Ferraris.
Because don't say it's don't say it's anything other than wanting Kimi to have those few extra points.
Oh yeah.
Don't try to say it's for the constructors because you finished in the same places. It's the exact amount of points for the constructors.
Then it shouldn't matter if I finish second or third.
Exactly.
Why am I having to swap if it's going to be the same for the constructors anyway?
Like, that's not, because they were trying to say that, and I'm like, no, it's not. That's not what it is. Just be honest about it. Like, listen, Valtteri Bottas did this multiple times for Lewis Hamilton. But I also think it was quite obvious then a 1 and a 2 driver.
Yes.
Mercedes is, I guess they're starting to make it obvious who 1 and 2 is, even though I don't think that's how it was painted going into the season.
Let me tell you what. If I'm George Russell, before I sign with Mercedes again, I'm asking Oscar Piastri what clause he has in his contract that says he doesn't get to be a number 2 driver at McLaren.
But like, what does that even mean?
It means that, like, in the easiest way it was explained last year, it means that there's no obvious preferential treatment given to one driver over the other unless it is statistically impossible for one of them to to win the driver's championship.
But I guess like when I see clauses like that, how are you arguing this in court? Because like you have a contract because if you need to argue something, right? How do you argue that? Because that's so like a he said, she said,
no, it's mathematically impossible. Like there's a certain point at which the lead driver or whoever's leading the driver's championship has a certain number of points, and there are only a certain number of points available the rest of the season. If the deficit is greater than that, even if you finish first at every single race and sprint race the rest of the season, you wouldn't be able to catch up to the driver in first. That makes it mathematically impossible for you to win.
Yeah, I don't know.
Up until we reach that point.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with the not being able to make a team call up until that point.
No,
but
you can make team calls.
Yeah,
the argument is like the obvious preferential treatment to one driver over another.
See, that I guess you'd have to really decide what that would, because I'm like, even doing a regular team order, you could argue as preferential. Is that the right word?
Preferential.
I'm not good with that word. Treatment. Like if I'm ever choosing a driver over another driver, you could argue that that's what that is. So I'm like, how do you what's the difference?
I think the difference would boil down to if you can justify for any other reason having them swap places other than just wanting one driver to get more points than the other. Like the only consideration, like all other things equal, or if, both drivers are equally capable of finishing the race. I'm not talking, if there's a clear, obvious difference in tire degradation or their pace or something's wrong with one of the cars, that's obvious. That's a case where you can justify making a swap.
To me, it was obvious when in the past, you had people go, they were first and second, and then they're like, all right, slow down and let Michael Schumacher win this race, for no other reason other than letting him win. Yeah. That to me is obvious. But I guess I'm I don't think we've been in a situation where we've seen that, at least now, recently. But yeah, I'm I get the call now. In the sense, I'm I guess you really, for George having to swap with Kimi, because I guess you really wouldn't, they were all gaining so quickly that it's
it puts both cars under threat when George is driving slower and Kimi has the ability to go faster, but stuck behind George. Both Ferraris are closing in. It risks the 2 podiums that Mercedes was going for in that scenario versus if they can swap the cars safely.
You're at least getting one.
Yeah. So only 1 car's under threat versus 2.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, George was on super old tires. And it's like, looking at it now, what Mercedes did is what Ferrari should have done. And they didn't do it because they're a bunch of pussies. So, guess we can talk about them.
Yeah, speaking of the red team. So let's talk about Ferrari.
All right, so listen. I didn't go into this race thinking Lewis was going to do shit. Because he was not having, like, Charles was obviously, at the time, before the race starts, the better of the 2 drivers this weekend. He was hooked up to the car more. Lewis just was struggling. Whatever. So we have Lewis Hamilton. He finished P4. He was killing it on those hard tires.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what happened. Like, he just was brought to life. So, should you say where Charles finished before we talk about that?
Yeah, so Charles Leclerc finished P5. He fought for the final podium position and passed Oscar Piastri, but the timing of the late VSC and his final lap battle with Lewis Hamilton left him in P5.
Yes. So we had a situation.
And Lewis finished P4.
Yeah, and Lewis finished P4, so they were right behind. Like, Lewis, then Charles. All within like half a second of each other. With George Russell right there. So we had a situation where Lewis was just like, I don't know that, and again, I'm sure Ferrari, maybe they weren't prepared for him to he was just killing it. Like that, how fast he was, that's not how the weekend was up until that point. So like they had no reason to believe at that point that Lewis was just going to start flying, but he did. It is what it is. So he was just, I mean, insane how well he was doing. So he gets caught up to Charles and he wasted time. Like, I think it was like 1.5 to 2 seconds they estimated, where he's like, we're wasting time. Like, we need to swap. Like, let me through. Like, it is what it is. He's right. But instead of Ferrari just making the fucking call, which they've made in the past.
Yeah.
They've made it in the past. They've made it, in China, whenever it was, like last year or something like that.
I mean, they've made it in the past with when Carlos Sainz was there, between Carlos and Charles.
So, you know, they don't want to tell Charles to box, or they don't want to tell him to just swap. And the radio messages were getting a little fucked up, so I had to go look at this later, because at first I thought they did. Honestly, sometimes I can't understand what his race engineer says. So anyway, they asked Charles to box, opposite of George Russell, and he's like, I literally don't want to do that because I'm trying to get the delta to him. I'm trying to get he's trying to do his own thing. Like, he's not thinking about Lewis. Like, that wasn't on his mind. All he saw was, no, that you're going to fuck up my strategy. And they were like, then they were silent. And then Charles was like, hello? The fuck?
What are we doing?
And Ferrari's like, okay, box. And he's like, literally, I'm going to do that. So then he ignores them.
Which is very rare for him to do, because we've seen many times in the past where they've told him to pit. He's questioned it verbally on the radio, but then he still follows the order. He still pits when they tell him to. And that has actually been a criticism that people have had of Charles with Ferrari, in that he has been seemingly so unwilling to go against their strategy calls versus like a Carlos Sainz who would disagree and then be like, I'm not doing that, and then wouldn't do it and would challenge them and be like, figure it out.
Yeah. So
Charles said,
Charles decided to put his big boy pants on in the moment where he really didn't fucking need to do it. I'm like, is this really, this is the battle you're fixing. This is the hill you're going to die on.
This is the moment.
Like, out of all the moments you've had that you could have made this decision, it has to be right now when it's not the right thing. Damn it, Charles.
Bad timing.
So then, I mean, he ends up pitting, and, you know, him and Lewis kind of had it. And they were obviously annoyed with each other. Neither of them really understanding, like, what the other one, and I'm sure they're fine now. But everyone's criticizing Ferrari because they're like, why didn't you just say to swap? All you would have to say is, you guys are on different strategies, swap positions. That's it. And the thing is like, that's just the end of the discussion. Quit being a pussy about it. You're Ferrari.
Why are you having to like make the excuse of we need to box? Confusing Charles about like, no, that's not what the strategy we're going for is. What are you talking? Like, you have to disguise and make him box.
Yeah, like, I don't know what he needed in order to like, I'm sure he was going to have to box a few laps after George or whatever. Like, I'm sure that was part of it, but they were trying to get him to do it too early, like you said, and disguise it. And it's like,
why?
Just fucking say it and save everybody the time and quit being like, what I don't understand is this. We have Ferrari, the oldest team in Formula One, right? There is no one, currently now, there is no number one driver. You're not going to have the golden boy of Ferrari and then you're the most successful F1 driver in history. They're just not, you can't really have a number one there.
No.
And you knew that when you signed him, when you signed Lewis. But you're still the most historical team and you got shit to do. They're not going anywhere. There ain't no other seat for them to go to. And they're not going to go somewhere because you might piss them off in the moment. Like, quit being a bunch of pussies. And what's good for the team and good for each driver is just, I don't get why we have to have these novel, long discussions in moments like this. Like, this is the discussion. You're on different strategies, swap the cars. That's the end. We're not arguing about it. Swap the car or you're going to get your ass handed to you after the race because you do work for me at the end of the day.
Yep.
That is the answer. It's just, I don't get that part. Like,
don't make me bring Fred up on the radio telling you to swap places, Charles.
Granted, nobody told him, so he probably would have. But like, why? What is with this? Like, where do you think I don't get why they act like they're scared to ruffle the feathers. Like, you're pissing people off more by being indecisive.
Are you gonna hurt his feelings by telling him Lewis is faster, swap the cars?
And you're on different strategies anyway.
Yeah.
So like, just move on.
Because we've been in a scenario where Charles was behind Lewis and Charles was faster and they told them to swap the cars. And Lewis is like, no, I want to try and get him. And they're like, no,
swap the cars. And he did. So what's the...
Why are we afraid to tell Charles to swap?
Yeah, I don't get that.
And to be clear, Charles is my boy.
No, I know.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why are we afraid to tell the young princeling?
That was just shenanigans, though.
Like that, I don't blame him for this scenario.
No.
I blame the strategists and the engineers for not just telling him what was what.
Yeah, like I don't get that. It's super weird, super bizarre.
And it boils back down to the communication problem, and that has been a consistent problem over the last several years at Ferrari.
Yes,
and we're getting better. But like, come on, bro. It ain't rocket science. This is not the rocket science part of Formula One.
No, this is quite literally should be like the easiest part. I'm sure they're going to have a discussion about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I know Lewis is.
He was pissed.
He's not like that either. Like, he was over it. And I'm like, you, every fucking right. And honestly, it's like,
and he doesn't know. He also doesn't know like what they're telling Charles.
Well, no, exactly.
So for all he knows, they're telling Charles to swap places.
Yeah.
And he's just not, or he's refusing and taking forever to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's happening? I don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
And Lewis even said in one of his post-race interviews, you know, he's like, I don't understand. He's like, at Mercedes, and you even saw in this race, when they tell them to swap the cars, they just do it and get on with it. He's like, I don't understand why it has to take this long and be such a complicated thing to swap the car. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like,
it doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
No, it's just, it was a scenario where he was lightning speed faster. Mm-hmm. It was, there was no question. It was just stupid.
Yeah. So Red Bull had an interesting weekend.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Had a lot of, we talked at the top of the episode, a lot of good news about, we had Max Verstappen re-signing for Red Bull. Unfortunately, Isaac Hadjar had a wrist injury and wasn't able to take part in the race weekend.
Yeah.
But they had Liam Lawson step in to fill his place, which meant that Yuki Tsunoda could come in for Racing Bulls.
That was awesome.
Which we will talk about. Don't you worry.
Oh,
I have my little my Tsunoda bracelet.
I was happy to see Yuki.
So, you know, we had that happening and, you know, things were looking kind of good. I had for Red Bull kind of going into the race. And then Max. He made a rare mistake. You know, it's not something where he's got such a strong racecraft and knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. I would argue he might have the strongest racecraft of anybody on that grid. I would argue. I mean, I would be willing to take other arguments, but that's my opinion.
I would say currently.
Yeah. And he made a rare mistake where he hit a part of the track that he thought had dried out.
It did not.
And it had not dried out. And so he just went right into the wall.
Oh, yeah. He lost the car.
Yeah. And then he went
and
to
it
the
looked
wall.
Like it hurt.
I mean, he hit it pretty hard. And then he went like he skidded like up the wall. And did he go? He went like across the track too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it threw him across the track.
Well, he lost the rear, so it went up and hit the top of the bank. Then it came back down to the bottom of the bank. It's like one of the fastest parts of the track, if not the fastest. So it was pretty bad. Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, so he obviously had a DNF.
Yeah.
And it's really super unfortunate because this was his home race. He is from the Netherlands. And there were so many people in orange.
And not McLaren orange.
No, they were in
the orange army of Max Verstappen.
Yeah, there were so many people in the stands there specifically to see him, and then he crashes out in the opening, beginning of the race.
Oh my God, that was devastating.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, Max, no!
We were just like, this is not happening right now.
So that was super unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we have Liam Lawson. He finished P7.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, Lawson qualified just 0.1 seconds behind Verstappen before finishing P7. So, I mean, he was up there with Max like the whole weekend pretty much. So that was good.
Holding his own. That's some earned vindication for Liam Lawson, who was not given a fair shake at Red Bull last season when he only got 2 race starts.
That was crazy.
Before they kicked him out back to Racing Bulls.
Yeah, that was nuts. So Lawson completed a largely solitary race and overcame a yellow flag penalty to secure P7 in his first weekend driving the Red Bull, at least, this season anyway.
Yeah, we don't have any updates as of right now on Isaac's wrist injury.
Yeah, depending on because the wrist is super complicated. So somebody said, if I had a nickel for every time Liam Lawson filled in a seat for somebody who broke their wrist at Zandvoort, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. And I was like, oh my God, it was Zandvoort where Daniel Ricciardo broke his fucking wrist.
Mm-hmm.
To not hit Oscar.
Yeah. But yeah, good for Liam. There was a moment where he had a persona in the paddock of being a little too big for his britches.
He was just fighting everybody. He said, fuck Sergio Perez, I'm fighting him. Fuck Alonso, I'm fighting him.
Elbows out, left and right, running into people and racing hard against people.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of calm yourself down, young pup energy being directed toward him.
I like it now.
But now I'm kind of like, okay, he's kind of shed that need that it felt like he had to prove himself in that way.
Well, yeah, probably because there's a little more security and stability within Red Bull, because if you breathed wrong at Red Bull, you got kicked the fuck out. So you almost had to always be on edge. And I'm like, see, when we allow people to not be scared that they're gonna, not exist in Formula One anymore, look at them blossom.
Yeah, look at him blossom like a flower.
Yes, I was very happy for Liam. I think he did a great job. And Red Bull did have a lot of fun on social media this weekend, being like, haha, Max is resigning with us. They were just like, duh, where'd you think he was gonna go?
Yeah, and they were also Red Bull social media was also having a lot of fun with Liam, because
oh my God, yeah.
Liam, when he's with Racing Bulls, normally their social media team loves to rage bait him.
They torment him.
And he participates in a lot of their shenanigans, but then he is just so over it anytime they do the rage bait stuff, and he's like, stop.
He's like, guys, what the hell?
What are we doing? And so he goes to Red Bull, and there's been so many posts of him being so suspicious of the Red Bull admin.
And I think they played it really good.
Yeah.
Because they just got to let him be suspicious. And that's the joke.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. They're like, good morning. And he's like, that's it. And they're like, what else would it be?
Yeah. And so that was very fun and playful, and I enjoyed that.
I did too.
And also, while we're speaking of Max, they've announced, Red Bull has announced that he's going to be doing a go-kart race.
I saw that.
Where it's going to be him versus 100 other go-kart drivers.
Why can't... That's fun.
I don't know if it's going to be actual kid go-kart drivers or if it's going to be adults.
That's what I want to know. I'm like, is this kids? Is this adults? Kids would be fucking funny.
He just demolishes all of them.
No, that would be so... But also, I'm like, no, put some grown-ups in there. Let's put some karting motherfuckers in there.
I need Fernando Alonso in a cart.
No, quite literally.
I
want fucking Vettel in that cart. I don't need them to be current drivers. I want Daniel Ricciardo in that cart.
Yeah. But they've been posting a lot about that and teasing it and stuff. And it's just been very playful and fun. But they're doing it live. They're doing the race live on September, I believe it's the 16th.
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
I will be watching.
Oh, yeah. You just come over. We'll watch.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
We'll make some plans. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Audi.
I will be talking about Nico.
That's my boy.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
Let me tell you something. P8 for my boy Nico Hülkenberg. Ow, ow!
Woo.
Fun
Nico,
fact. Nico. So fun fact for Hülkenberg, so on the restart, he restarted in P12 and gained 4 positions to get P8. That's my boy. And let me tell you something right now.
Tell me something right now.
His fucking reflexes of not T-boning Gabby. So when Max crashed, Gabby spun. Had nothing to do with Max, but it just so happened to be he did like a 360 basically. But as he's like in the middle of his 360,
like sideways,
Nico was about to T-bone him, and he had no time to really react. But he had 0.1 second time to react, and he did. Completely avoided it. It was by like a fucking millimeter. It felt. It was insane.
That is some muscle memory. Like your brain is moving faster than you can actually process what's happening.
Phenomenal.
Like, you know how if something's flying at you, you like automatically flinch out of the way and you have no control over it?
Yes.
That's what that sort of reaction is, where you literally don't control it. It just happens because you've been so conditioned to react in that way.
Agreed.
I mean, just like phenomenal reflexes.
100. I was just so impressed. I was like, oh my God.
It's like superhuman.
Yes.
That sort of like reflex and control.
Yeah.
I mean, just like chef's kiss. Like, mwah, beautiful.
It was phenomenal.
No notes.
Yeah, no notes. Like, and in the points, no notes. Love me some Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah. And then we have Gabriel Bortoleto. He finished P13. So he recovered from P18 after his spin, gaining 5 positions to finish P13. He dropped down the order after the poor start and the spin at turn 14, but avoided the barriers and recovered. So not much he could do after that spin out.
Kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, good on him to be able to recover it, and at least be able to still race.
Yeah, to keep going.
So, yeah.
Moving on to Aston Martin.
Oh, okay, I'm going to go again. Anna's supposed to read the first driver, but normally the drivers I want to read are in second anyway. Recently. So Aston Martin, right? Mm-hmm. We have Fernando Alonso, the GOAT, the rookie. Both. He can be both. P9.
Woo!
Fun fact, Alonso gained 9 positions from P18 on the grid to finish P9 and scored 2 points.
That's nuts.
Let's talk about something right now. We fucking said, and honestly, this isn't like groundbreaking. I think if you have any kind of brain and you watch Formula One, you probably saw this coming. But we said, after the performance in Hungary, they're going to be in the points. No doubt, because they finished like P13, P14 after finishing like nothing.
Significant improvement.
Yeah, after getting Adrian's car.
Yeah.
Now we have Adrian's car and the new Honda Power Unit, and Alonso's in the points. And he qualified like shit. I don't know if the qualifying had to do with the rear wing or if that was during I can't remember, but there was some issues with the car and there was a reason why it happened. But on merit alone, look at what he gained. That's fucking impressive. Are you kidding me?
So it's not that he's old or forgot how to drive. It was quite literally the car.
So just remember, I said Alonso's going to get a podium, and I still fucking believe it. This season, he's going to get it. And all y'all are going to go, damn, she was right. Yeah, so that was that.
Then we have Lance Stroll, who DNF'd. He struggled with a handling problem caused by suspected early damage and retired after an early tire change failed to improve the car.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like...
I mean, he did finish close to Alonso last race, so fair enough, maybe there was an issue. But yeah.
I'm like, maybe I just don't have a good enough sense of Lance Stroll. Maybe he is a very like private, keeps to himself, quiet kind of person. I just don't really have a sense of like any sort of like wanting to be here vibe from him. You know, again, I don't know the man, but I don't really get that.
It's a pretty muted like persona.
Yeah, and presence.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't have any like. I feel like everybody's got their quirks and we kind of know what they are. And for Lance, I'm like, I couldn't tell you.
Nothing. He's like beige. He's like a beige kitchen wall. I know nothing about him.
Yeah.
Just he's there.
I know he has like he does GT stuff, I think. I think he owns a hockey team or something.
Okay.
But that's all learned through like social media videos and by like chance.
Yeah.
So
you
no
stumbled
clue.
upon it.
Yeah. No clue.
So, okay, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Alpine. We have Pierre Gasly finished P10. Fun fact, Gasly scored points in both the sprint and Grand Prix, earning 2 points across the Zandvoort weekend.
Go Pierre!
Yeah. Pierre is always one of those drivers, I always say.
I know. He's
underrated.
Yeah.
He's so underrated. And if there's one thing you're going to know about my opinion about Formula One, it's that Pierre Gasly is underrated.
Every time.
Every time.
But honestly, I'm the same way with Hülkenberg. I love him. Like, just adore. And now we have Franco Colapinto, who finished P14. Fun fact, Colapinto received maybe not fun, but it's a fact. Colapinto received 2 penalties for yellow flag infringements during the race. I feel like there was a lot of this happening, like yellow flags and infringements. I feel like across the board.
I'm like,
whole weekend.
Did we forget what we're supposed to do during yellow flags? Like over the summer break?
I guess. I don't know. Crazy. So Colapinto gained 4 positions and reached the top 10 at the start, but a drive-through penalty and a second yellow flag infringement ended his chance of scoring points. So to me, if I'm Alpine, I'm fucking pissed because you clearly showed that you could get up there, and then by certain choices that were made that you could have been avoided, we don't have double points.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's my...
It's annoying, I think, when it's not the driving ability that's lacking, it's the rules and procedure following that is a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's the easy part, is to know what the rules and procedures are and what you're supposed to do during them.
Yes.
Supposed to be the easy part.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, and you can forgive a driver making a mistake occasionally.
Depending on what it is.
But there should be, there should be also some communication happening between the engineer and the driver so that the driver knows what to do.
Yeah.
In these instances, even if they forget.
I'm Susie Wolf going, there ain't no fucking reason for this shit. I'm sorry, there ain't no... The only thing...
we can try to make an excuse,
We can try, but like, you know what? Flavio Briatore took his ass and probably spanked him and beat his ass. And he said, never again. Because that is
figuratively.
Yeah. Allegedly. I'm kidding. No, I meant literally. I meant allegedly. He literally maybe did. Like, just my opinion.
Go pick your switch.
No, that's because he's the old guard. And the old guard is going to be like...
They don't baby these drivers.
No. And so I'm like that. I would not be shocked that Franco Colapinto will never receive a penalty again. Allegedly. He was figuratively beat. No, I meant allegedly, literally.
Literally.
But allegedly. So I still can't get in trouble.
Let's talk about racing balls.
Hey, as I say every episode, my little secret favorite team, I love them. So we have Arvid Lindblad. He finished P12. Lindblad received an early drive-through penalty for overtaking under yellow flags, but recovered through the field with several overtakes to finish P12. So, Arvid, why y'all doing that? Sounds to me you could have been in the points if you didn't do something silly.
Yeah.
So stop. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yuki Tsunoda, who made a 1 race appearance filling in for Liam Lawson, who, as we mentioned, got bumped up to Red Bull for this weekend to fill in for Isaac Hadjar, who had a wrist injury. Very convoluted.
First of all, hold on. I'm so sorry. Who's the reserve Red Bull driver who just didn't get to race?
Oh, for Red Bull? I think
that's Yuki. Yuki is the reserve driver for Red Bull, is he not?
I think for Red Bull as a whole.
So they don't have separate reserve drivers.
Yeah, I think they share. Well, I think that Racing Bulls are the reserve drivers for Red Bull. Because it makes sense, though, because they're the 2 Racing Bulls drivers have the most current experience in this type of car, most relevant to driving a Red Bull car.
But you know what's crazy? That would happen nowhere else. Like, you have a reserve driver, that's your reserve driver. And I'm like, Yuki's always in Red Bull fit at the fucking track. He's like the Red Bull driver.
It's happened with Williams and Mercedes, where George Russell was called up from Williams to fill in at Mercedes. Remember that one time? I think he filled in for...
Had to be Bottas.
No, was it Lewis? Maybe
was it during COVID?
It was like the season before George signed with Mercedes.
Okay.
I think it might have been during the race where he and Valtteri got into it. Remember when he called Valtteri a bad word?
And he like smacked him on the head or something? Or like it looked like he did, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. So, but yeah, so it's happened with other teams before. I want to, it depends on, like, they basically can make agreements where they can loan the drivers to the top teams.
Imagine being the official reserve driver and they're just like, nah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it would make sense that Red Bulls would choose to have the Racing Bulls drivers essentially acting as their reserves.
Rules. We gotta have some fucking rules.
More
now.
separation.
That's some bullshit. Like
they can play just musical chairs with their drivers.
It's fine because I loved seeing Yuki, but I'm like, Yuki probably whatever. I'm happy Liam was in the Red Bull. It all worked out. It just was a thought that I had where I was like, wait a minute here. Who got overlooked?
So Yuki was filling in Racing Bulls. He finished P11, so just outside the points. He fought his way into points contention during his appearance, but an off-track moment and a slower 3-stop strategy left him in P11.
I need everybody to understand something. Some people might hear P11 and not be impressed. This is the first time Yuki has driven this type of fucking Formula One car.
Yeah,
with
remember,
the new regulations.
New regulations. This is a new era of
Whole
car.
new everything. No more. So everything is new. Yes, I'm sure he's on the simulator, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
This is impressive to me.
Yeah.
And it's the reason he should still be in this sport. And I think that it's going to be even more interesting if Isaac's wrist isn't healed and he gets to continue on. And someone's going to have to grab him.
Somebody has to.
I said who I think would.
Yuki is too good of a driver.
100%.
And he has too much of a fan base. Because, believe it or not, that is a draw. That does have its own sort of negotiating
Sergio
power.
Perez.
Yeah.
And the money.
Yeah. So you can bring in sponsors. You can bring in eyeballs to the team. You can bring in fan support who's going to buy merch and support monetarily. Like, Yuki has the star power
100%
that people aren't giving enough credit to.
Yes. People love Yuki Tsunoda.
Across the board.
Yeah, I don't know who doesn't like Yuki Tsunoda.
Even amongst the drivers have their squabbles with each other and some of them are can be civil enough to each other but really don't fuck with each other like that. Everyone loves Yuki.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah, I was impressed with Yuki. I think that now I'm just going to be super sad to not. I hope we get to see him more, but I also I love Isaac. Let me tell you something. Isaac to me, that's my fave. Out of all the rookies we got last year, Isaac's my favorite. But I love Yuki Tsunoda, and I hope that this Isaac Hajar's misfortune for a few races is Yuki's fortune, and he somehow is able to showcase why he should still be in this sport, and he gets picked up.
I hope so. Fingers crossed for Yuki. So.
I know where he should. I mean, I got an idea where he should go, which we've talked about multiple times.
Say it again.
I just feel as if there's a chance he'll end up at Haas. I don't know that Esteban Ocon will continue on past this season. Ollie's not going anywhere. He's part of the Ferrari Academy. He's not going to go anywhere. They're just
He's
whatever.
basically on loan to Haas right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, until Lewis or Charles wants to leave, basically. And yeah, I just don't. Then that's no hate towards Esteban. That's just that is just you just read some stuff, man, and you just look at who some of Haas's sponsors are now, and people got pull. So just saying.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Williams. We have Carlos Sainz finishing P16. He received a 10-second penalty for causing the collision with Alex Albon. Oh yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, and I think Carlos immediately was like, I'm sorry. He didn't try to do any arguing. He was like, that was me.
Yeah, so Sainz reached the top 10 through a long opening stint, but later locked up at turn 1, hitting Albon and finishing P16 after receiving a penalty.
God, that's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying. So now we have Alex Albon, DNF. As we just said, Carlos Sainz attacked him into turn 1.
Violently attacked him. Aggressively.
I love saying that.
With malice.
When there's any type of collision, I'm just attacked. Anyway, Alex showed competitive pace and clean air, but became stuck in traffic after an early stop before damage from the late attack with Carlos Sainz.
So Carlos attacked him, and that was it for him. Unfortunate. I'm so over Williams. I'm sorry. I'm just done with the whole like conversation until
I've pretty much given up on Williams this year. I know it's, never say die, but I'm just not even considering them until next year.
Absolutely not. No.
Like I'm over it.
I'm pretty sure the whole car's wrong. Yeah. Just throw the whole thing away.
Yeah. Start over.
So.
Moving on to Cadillac, we have Sergio Perez finishing P15. He started from the pit lane, used the overcut to move ahead of Bottas, and finished P15 despite losing an opportunity through the timing of the late VSC.
Yes, and now we have Valtteri Bottas with a DNF. A not so fun fact for Valtteri. He has recorded his 6th DNF of the season.
Woo! Wow. And we've only done, this is race round 12. He's only finished half. He's batting 500.
Fuck.
As a finishing percentage.
Oh, Lord. So Bottas ran close to the Williams drivers early in the race, but retired with approximately 10 laps remaining because of a hydraulic issue affecting the rear wing.
Yeah, so maybe his having 6 DNFs is the reason that their team principal was kicked to the curb and they brought someone else in.
I don't know. And I don't know how fair it is to even be upset at stuff like this when it's a brand new team.
That's true.
Completely brand new. And I'm like, it's not like the team principal is the one working on the fucking car at the factory now.
So. To be fair, this could have been planned for Cadillac.
Yeah.
They could have had this one person being the team principal for the first half of the season and they had planned to move him somewhere else or and bring someone else in. It could have been that. So
or they just were like, I don't like the direction.
Yeah.
And who's to say? I mean, it happens.
And last but not least,
whatever.
We have Haas. Oliver Behrman had a DNF. His car shut down during the formation lap.
Oh, yeah.
Following the red flag and could not be restarted, ending his race before the second start.
That's right.
That is correct.
Yep.
That did happen. I remember now.
I remember because I was like, what now? What now?
He was like, wait, guys, wait, hold on.
Oh, Jesus. And then we have Esteban Ocon, DNF. Oh, so a weird fact for Ocon. This was his first reliability problem retirement. So it's the first time he retired all season due to reliability. So every other time was not due to the car, basically, is what they're saying.
Okay.
That's such a shady stat. So Ocon completed most of the race before a suspected power unit problem forced him to stop late. So, I mean, I don't know that it was that exciting before that anyway. So Haas has just completely let me down, disappointed, and I don't get it. Nothing at all compared to what we thought with testing. Goodbye. All right. That wraps up the teams.
Yes.
Now we'll get into our best and worst segment. My driver of the day is my boy Alonso because hell yeah. Get in those points.
Yes, sir.
Loved it.
My driver of the day is Nico Hülkenberg.
Good. Agreed. I can't pick both. Nico killed it.
Yeah.
Biggest letdown is the most obvious, just overall Ferrari. Like, what the fuck was that? That was some, like, tomfoolery bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, aren't we afraid to upset? Who gives it? You're upsetting more people by being an indecisive, like, little girl. Ooh, that's sexist towards myself.
A little baby.
Yeah, being an indecisive
a little toddler.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I'm afraid to just swap the cars. You didn't have an issue telling Lewis to do it. So, facts are facts.
Let's use our big boy and big girl words.
Yeah, like, it's not hard. You're on different strategies. Swap the cars. We're not discussing it. That's it. And we will discuss it afterwards if needed. The end.
Period.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
I'm like, this bitch trying to move on.
You didn't type anything, so I was like, oh, it must be Ferrari.
No, it's not. Well, it was going to be, but my actual biggest letdown is, unfortunately, Max Verstappen.
That sucked. Yeah, that was lame.
The letdown being that it's unfortunate, and we said it is a rare mistake from him, but he did make that mistake, and it was a major letdown in his last home race.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
In front of all those people in orange.
Yeah.
That were there at the race. Like, that was very unfortunate.
Don't go to, like, the local grocery store for a minute. You're going to get side-eyed hard.
Go stay in Monaco for
He's
a
like,
little
I'm
bit.
going home to Monaco.
Yeah.
So, with that, we're going to get into our next race teaser. And here's the thing. I'm not doing this the new way yet, but we will be doing it the new way soon.
Yes.
Should be more than likely next race. And
we make no promises.
No promises, but this is how it's going to go down moving forward. We're going to have a good lap that someone's going to set. So like
someone not us
is going to set, and we'll talk about it voiceover wise, like kind of like how they do in F1 TV. And then me and Anna will be setting lap times to see who's going to be fastest. And it's going to look kind of like a Twitch stream, how they do. Like you'll have the big screen's the car, and then the little corner will be us.
Yeah.
And so that's how the next race teaser will be soon. And we are going to be using the F1 game because they do have some of the mechanics of like the battery and recharging. And so we can kind of play around with that a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I'm trying to iron out the kinks because I'm like, how is this? It's not iRacing. So I'm like, how does this work?
So we're still Jessica is still figuring that process out, but we are hoping to have it figured out soon.
Yes. So with that being said, we'll get into the next race teaser.
Traditional style.
So round 13, the Formula One Pirelli Gran Premio d'Italia 2026. Is that, are they normally called that? Like that?
I mean, we'll just take that out.
Kind of confused the shit out of me.
At Autodromo Nazionale Monza.
It's Monza, the Temple of Speed. So it's not this coming weekend, it's the next weekend. So we got like a little bit of a break. It's not going to be a sprint weekend. And weird little facts for Monza. The last Grand Prix was the fastest in F1 history. That Max won the 2025 Italian Grand Prix from pole, finishing 19.20 seconds ahead of Lando Norris.
They don't call the Temple of Speed for nothing.
No. And it was completed at an average speed of 250.706 kilometers per hour, which is about 155.79 miles per hour. So just super quick. And yeah, so as I just said, the last Grand Prix results, we had Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri. Mm-hmm. Some track stats. The first GP was held in 1950, and I'm pretty sure every Italian Grand Prix has been held here except one time it was held at Imola for some reason, like in the 80s or something like that. There are 53 laps. The circuit length is it really that long?
Yeah.
That feels long.
I mean, 53 laps is like, I would consider average.
Yeah, I guess like some of the smaller tracks I get fucked up on, I'm like 70 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
50 something is about right.
Yeah. So the circuit length is 5.793 kilometers, which is about 3.6 miles. The race distance is about 306.720 kilometers, which is about 190.59 miles. The race lap record is held by Lando Norris at 1 minute and 20.901 seconds. And the qualifying lap record is held by Max Verstappen, which was 1 minute and 18.792 seconds. Hallelujah. So what is the track like? It's fast. It is fast. It is the fastest low downforce circuit with long straights separated by heavy braking zones, slow chicanes, and fast corners. So the regulations will be interesting to see because long straights, I feel like the past few, we haven't had ridiculously long straights. So I'm like, the battery recharge and the super clipping, I wonder if they're going to adjust the regulations like they've done in the past for certain tracks. Even with the whole new like active aero, like, it'll be interesting to see.
Fun fact, Monza has a corner called Lesmos, and every time they say it on the broadcast, I swear to God, they say Lesbos. Every time, I swear. And I'm like, Lesbos?
I do remember you texting me that.
And I'm like, what? And no, it's Lesmos with an M.
Lesbos? There's Lesbos at the track?
I mean, not surprising.
Probably. Monza, the tire strategy will be the C3, the C4, and the C5. I hope that's right because every time I look for these fucking tires, you would think it would be easy. You think, let me go to Pirelli's site. I swear to God, they hide them. I swear to God, they hide where it is.
They move it around.
And then I'm like, I have to go on Google and then just put in the correct words, finally find the page. That is on Pirelli's website, but for some reason, I can't just go to the Pirelli site and find it. It's very annoying. So I hope that's right. And if it's not, we'll find out. The time lost during a pit stop is among the highest of the season. So teams will usually try to complete the race with a one stop. So expect a one stop. And can we overtake here? Yes. Yes, we can.
Ooh,
the
fun.
end. On the straights and everything. Maybe, I don't know. If the cars lose battery, they'll probably just cut the camera away and we'll see somebody else. But anyway, yeah, so we should see some overtakes. And there's multiple places to do it. So, and how suited is Monza for these regulations? I don't know. I mean, for the teams that have great straight line speed, probably great. Mm-hmm. For the teams that don't, probably not going to be good for you. The teams that have not really figured out their battery, I mean, I don't know.
Wasn't it early in the season, am I remembering correctly, that Mercedes was struggling with straight line speed?
That was Ferrari.
Was it Ferrari struggling with straight line speed? That's who it was. Okay.
The battery, like on the straights, Mercedes was killing it.
Yeah.
But
then Ferrari was
better in
had them in the corners. Yeah. That's where they were closer in certain races than others. Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
So
I remembered Mercedes was involved in that conversation.
Mercedes was somewhere in there.
Somewhere.
And granted, we've had some upgrades since then. So I don't know.
Who knows?
Who's to
Je ne sais pas. I do not know.
I mean, now, what are our predictions? So I'm just going to say it because I don't care.
Okay.
Lewis Hamilton is going to... God, what if he won at Monza? I think we would have an earthquake. The whole world would feel the earthquake.
I'm gonna say it'll probably be Lando Norris.
Shut the
Monza.
fuck.
I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer.
You don't believe, and this is why.
I'm going with Lando. McLaren has superior speed right now. Lando has been really in the zone the last 2 races.
Okay. Fine. I'm
just saying my opinion. It's just my thought.
It's just my opinion.
If you want to go with Lewis.
No, I know it's not going to happen unless it does. And then, I'm sorry I said this, but honestly, Kimi Antonelli's probably going to win. And it'll probably be Lando Norris. And if George Russell doesn't get shafted in the fucking stomach again by his own team, he'll probably be 3rd. But if he does, then I think a Ferrari will be up there. But Kimi will probably win. He's going to have all the fucking power from the Italians because he's Italian.
Yeah, it's just going to course through his veins.
Yeah,
he's going to get like Super Saiyan power boost.
He's going to go Super Saiyan and then he's going to win. And then Lando will be there. And yeah, but my heart says Lewis is going to just win somehow. But
he could pull it out. You never know.
Not
crazier things have happened.
He could. Now, if Ferrari can, that's a whole other fucking discussion.
Fair point.
So, guys, with that being said, let us know your predictions. Let us know your overall thoughts of this race. And if you are sad to say bye to Zandvoort, I am, because it's good. It's like a nice track. I think the drivers like it a lot, so it's disappointing that it's leaving. And yeah, just let us know what your thoughts are. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and to turn on your notification bell so you can know anytime we upload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.